Hi! Today I'm going to demonstrate for you my Fast and Fabulous card using the limited edition Blended Seasons bundle and how to have a sky without coloring it. While designing my Fast and Fabulous Blended Seasons card, I found a way that makes it even easier to make my card and steps it up all at the same time. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 17 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand stamped smiles. So while designing, I ended up with 3 different renditions of the card, and I'll be sure to show them all to you. Here's a closer view of the limited edition Blended Seasons bundle with the Blended Seasons stamp set and the coordinating Stitch Seasons framelits dies. So I've used the flowers, I've used the leaves, I've done Christmas, and I just thought that was some really pretty wheat. Thought, okay, I want to design a card with that and using these fabulous dies. And so since that was a small stamp, I thought, well, I'll use the smallest die. And so that's where the whole card got started. So what we need to do first for my Fast and Fabulous card design is to do some die cutting. So let me grab my Big Shot. I've got my Big Shot die cutting machine, so now what we need to do is build the sandwich to die cut with our beautiful framelit die. So I'm going to start with the magnetic platform. Now this doesn't come with the purchase of a Big Shot, but I just love it because I'm going to be creating a window with this die and I need it to stay in place, and the magnetic platform will hold it in place. You could use the Big Shot platform that comes with a Big Shot, but then you need to do something to hold it in place. Washi tape, a post-it note. You know, I've done things that tore my cardstock and I just prefer the magnetic platform. And so I'm using Whisper White thick cardstock because I'm creating a window. I'm going to be popping it up and I like the heaviness of that. All right, so now I need to put this on here. And did you hear it? You can hear it cling. You know it's in place when you hear that cling. And I say that because it's easy for your cutting pads to get warped, and if you don't hear that, you know, turn it over, find that good flat spot that you can get to the magnetic part through the cutting pad. All right, I'm just looking from here that it's centered. I'm looking side to side. All right, and then to finish our sandwich, we need another cutting pad. So we'll go ahead and crank this through. And that 3,000 pounds of pressure is going to cut this for us. All right, so let me show you what we have. There we go, because see, we want the window. I mean, we can use this part on a different project, but we've got that window, and I want you to see, look at that stitching all around. That just makes it extra special. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I designed my card, and then after I put it all together, I thought, boy, I just would like to dress it up a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the Pine Wood Planks embossing folder on it. So we need to change the sandwich. So now I'm going to use that Big Shot platform. All right. And we have the Pine Wood Planks embossing folder. I love the 6x6 folders because I can turn my cardstock any way I want. So I can have the planks going up and down no matter how I want for a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. Okay, so I want them to go like this. And with a dynamic embossing folder, if you missed your cardstock, the image is even deeper. I did that, but you know, I'm creating a window as I told you. I'm going to be popping it up and it warped it a little bit. And so I'm going to leave it dry so it's still good and stiff. Okay, and so look, see the Stampin' Up! Logo? I'm wanting that on the front side. There is a front and a back. The back, the stitching isn't as nice. So I want this on the front. There we go. Probably this folder doesn't make any difference, but just a nice little tip to have. Go ahead and close that. Place it. Now, usually with an embossing folder, you'd have a bottom cutting pad. The dynamic folders are so thick, you don't need it. But no worries, we're not cutting anything, so we're not going to hurt our Big Shot platform. But we do need a cutting pad to finish the sandwich. And then we'll go ahead and crank this through with that 3,000 pounds of pressure. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. And wait till you see this embossed on here. Isn't that beautiful? I was hesitating because I didn't know if I'd lose my stitching, but I can still see my stitching and have the embossing. So now we have our die cut and embossed cardstock that created the window. And I thought, boy, I really want a blue sky for my wheat because I'm going to use that pretty wheat. But I didn't want to have to watercolor all over. I wanted to make it really easy for you. I thought, oh, I know, I bet this will work. So we're going to stamp right on the balmy blue cardstock. And we're still going to color the wheat. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And so I'm going to use Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. And you can tell because I wrote it on there. I did a video showing you how to create your own larger Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. And I'll have a link to that for you. So what we're going to do is just lift that up and push that in. All right. And so, of course, with the window, I wanted the wheat right about here. And I was really liking this card, and I thought, how am I going to make this look easy and get it exactly where I want? Because I was trying to hold this, move that, and still go down. I thought, okay, I probably could do that. And let's see how well I did. Hey, that's pretty doggone good. Because I plan to tell you, hey, if I mess up, I can turn it over. I'll have 2 tries with it. But I just wanted that to be really easy for you, well, and me. So I decided to do something else. I cut another blue window. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, you don't have to try to be quick or know exactly where to hold it, but we do want to come off that edge just a tiny little bit, or get over there. There we go. And isn't that pretty? Now we know our placement. So while I have this out, let's use the Congrats, and this is from also the Blended Seasons stamp set. And come over here and stamp. Really pretty. And I thought, okay, not everyone's going to want Congrats, but I like to use as much from a stamp set as I can. I thought, oh boy, if you want to do this card idea but something other than Congrats, look at the itty bitty greeting stamp set. A lot of these will fit in that same area, quite a few. And this is new from the 2018-2019 catalog. Like, oh, this is why we love our itty bitty greetings, for the times that you need just a little, you have just enough room for one of those little greetings. Okay, so we're done with the pad. Let's go ahead and push right there, pull on that, and click. I looked at my stamp pads. I still have my color caddy from Stampin' Up, and one of them was pushed out still a little bit. It wasn't closed, so still listen for that click with this new style pad. And a quick swipe on my stamping sleeves in case I got ink on me opening and closing that pad. It doesn't end up on my card and smudging it. Okay, and so here's how we're going to have the blue sky and still be able to color our wheat. Because if I watercolored it, it wasn't working. I tried just to see, because I had already tried the watercolor pencils and thought, oh, I love that. Now these are the watercolor pencils assortment 2, and these are limited edition for August 2018 only. So you only have through the end of the month to get these 2. And they're only, I believe, $12.50 for the 10. These 10 colors. And because they're a limited edition, pencils aren't going to last forever. I had used this before on my thank you cards for this month, so I just took it to my sharpener and I thought, oh, eventually they'll go away. So you know what? While you're ordering a set before they get gone, these limited edition, order 2. All right, so I'm going to use Cajun Craze. And look, this shows up against the colored cardstock. Isn't that cool? I watercolored. The color changes when you stamp color on color, ink on colored cardstock. A lot of times it changes color. It just wasn't vibrant at all like this. And look, I'm doing the little pieces that are hanging out too. There. And then you could just keep putting it down and get it deeper and deeper if you wanted. All right, and so then we have 2 colors. I've got my Granny Apple Green and my Garden Green. And I'm going to use both. So I'm going to go over and color all of the stems and leaves. There we go. Very pretty. And then use the darker Garden Green for some shading. So I'm just going along one side of it. Kind of cool. It's fun to play around. there. All right, and so then somebody shared with us demonstrators the Wink of Stella. Really cool over top of the watercolor pens, or watercolor pencils. So this is a clear Wink of Stella. And so it's going to give it a sheen. And you know what's kind of cool too is I don't need to change colors. I don't seem to be pulling any of the crushed curry onto my green. So it's helping blend that because it has some moisture. But boy, it's just one of those little things that dresses up your card. So we'll go ahead and put that away. And you know, in the watercolor pencils, these are assortment 2 to complement the watercolor pencils. All right, so you know, if you love watercolor pencils, who wouldn't want more colors? So here was that added bonus. I've got even more stitching. And I thought, ooh, was it too much? It's not too much at all. So what we're gonna do, we are almost done. Can you believe it? I told you, fast and fabulous. So I'm going to use crushed curry for the base of my card. So I need my snail adhesive. Do you know what STAIL stands for? It's an acronym for Super Neat Affordable Inline Adhesive. Okay, there'll be a test at the end. You know, how about we do this side? All right. So you saw how to do it if you didn't want to die cut a separate piece, but I really like the effect of the of the double stitching that we're going to end up with, and the ease of it. Just so easy to stamp that way. Okay, and so now we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm not going to adhere this yet because trying to put that on and getting this just right, we're going to do it afterwards. So, but it just makes it a little bit more special, popped up. So how we're going to pop that up is with Stampin' Dimensionals, these little foam adhesive dots, and they are wonderful. Someone was just talking with one of my sweet stampers, and she says, you know, there are just no other dimensionals on the market like the Stampin' Up. You know, they're hard, and I think, yeah, ours are awesome. All right, and so because I'm popping this up, I'm wanting to spread those around and give it support. Okay, there we go. And so this little trick, this one's already coming off, but if you just press your nail in the center, it makes those edges pop right up, slick as a whistle. You don't have to have long fingernails for that to work. It's just that pressure gets that. Okay, so now this layer, I only cut an 1/8 inch bigger. I wanted the hint of the blue around it, not a lot because I already had all that blue going on inside. And so when you cut it like that, you only have an 1/8 inch all the way around. And so you have to be careful and neat with your layers. Okay, so let's take me a second. I'll probably be really quiet while I'm trying to do this. Because you just don't have that slack. And, you know, like when we were in school, the teacher would write on your paper, neatness counts. It does. It does in card making too. Oh yeah, we got a nice border all the way around. And I'll have a link to my blog post. We're happy with that, so we'll press those down. My blog post with all of the measurements to make my fast and fabulous blended seasons card. So now look how easy that's going to be to get it exactly where we want it. And so back with our snail adhesive, finger where those ridges are. And I usually say 1 inch in each corner, but this is going to be just fine. So let's go ahead and slip that right in here. There we go, and I've got my paper snips to help pick this up and move it if necessary. Oh, all right. No harm, let's try again. Oh, it just slid in right where I wanted it. Life is good. Oh yeah, and look at that double stitching we have now inside and out, and our blue sky with our colored wheat. So when I got to this point, I thought, well, I need just a little something more. And you know, I was thinking country and raffia. And I thought, well, raffia can get kind of wild, but I still want that color look, or the country look. I thought, oh, how about the burlap ribbon? Well, this was just too much for that, you know, too wide for what I wanted. And so I just took and cut along it. And we'll just finish right now. My paper snips, I take a pair and put a piece of ribbon on them, to keep them just for ribbon. So we're just going to cut right down along here. And look, now I have a smaller piece. And there are two ways to use this. You know, here's the edge, so that's going to stay really tight, but this is the center, and so those will probably break apart, and I like that look too. And so I wanted to do a double bow, and here's how I do double bows so easily. My Joy Crafts bow maker, and I'll have a link to where you can find this. So here, this is really quick, and once you get used to it, no big deal. You just wrap it twice if you want a double bow. Okay. So I can have you a link to another video where I just really walk through this for you, where I show you how to do this and feed this through. Let's go ahead and give that a good snug. Okay, and when you take it off, you still can move that a little bit. This, especially with this, and then really finish it, because this is just so much heavier. Okay. Anyway, so that's how you make a double bow. Isn't that cool? All right. And so then I fooled around and just brought this down and put it down with a mini glue dot. So I want to show you, here's this same card, okay, with that on there. So on this one, I used the center. Look how that broke apart and didn't stay together as much. But I wanted to show you a couple other things. So my first design, I had it flat. I popped up the blue and the white. Can you see from the side? And this was flat in there. And then you can see on this one, I decided, you know, to pop this up to create more of that window look. And so I did that. And here it is without the embossing. Yeah, the embossing really is a nice look, but now you can see it either way, so you can make up your mind which you would like better. And there you go. A fast and fabulous blended seasons card with a blue sky that you didn't have to color and wheat that you could. If you'd like to make my Fast and Fabulous Blended Seasons card, all the supplies are listed below the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. But remember, the Blended Seasons bundle, it's limited edition and available only through August 31st, 2018, if supplies last that long. So get on over now to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamp smiles. Thanks for watching.